Hey, it's Kevin here. Before we get into this episode, I just wanted to say our next live show is October 25th. Tickets are available now, and you'll find a link in the podcast description. It's an extra spooky Halloween episode starring the former Raven Master of the Tower of London. Hope to see you there. You surface from the underground at Piccadilly Circus.
Mind the gap.
Making your way through the glittering lights of London's West End, you take a turn down a quaint-looking street into the notorious neighborhood of Soho, and you arrive at our intimate cafe. Welcome to The Big Smoke, a live recorded variety show podcast. My name is Kevin Bennett. I'll be your guide through this experience of comedy, conversation, and community. In this episode, we're taken on a guided meditation from R.T. Lal. We'll then hear a set from stand-up comedian Kate Sharp, and finally, a freestyle rap performance by recording artist Lean. But first, it's time to play Stump the Room.
There we go. These are the rules. With your team, you're going to search for the most difficult crossword puzzle clue that your table can solve, okay? But you think no one else in the room will be able to solve it. So you're going to try to stump the room. Search for the clue that your team knows the answer to, but you think no one else will. Who thinks that they've found a clue that you know the answer to, but you think will stump the room? Is anybody? Yes. Tell us your name and which newspaper this is from, please.
Hi, I'm Sean, and this is from the Daily Mirror.
Okay. What is your stump the room clue?
The clue is a spiral-horned antelope of Central Africa whose coat is bright red-brown with narrow cream stripes, 5 letters.
Have you been stumped? You'll find the answer at the end of the episode. Today's episode, The Freestyle Mind, is about how we harness our thoughts to find stillness, creativity, and inspiration. What does that mean to you?
So I'm Pascal Bluster, and in terms of stillness, I feel like it's something I often crave. And when I move to a big city like London, there's a lot of static noise and scrambling of one's consciousness. So stillness is few and far in between, and something I'm always working on trying to integrate. I clear my mind, because a lot of the city is noisy. At the times I'm not able to go to a park like Richmond Park, which I'm blessed to live close to. I have to change my perspective, and I have to be mindful wherever it is I am, because we're not always in control of our environments. So that's key, and being with people with a similar mindset.
Hello there, I'm Moo, I'm from Putney. So how do I find stillness? So I guess stillness in this sense of the word probably means like peace, calm, tranquility. So for me, finding peace and tranquility probably comes from doing something relaxing that I enjoy. Could be like going swimming, exercising, maybe going to the sauna steam room at my local gym, which has really good, they also have a good jacuzzi as well. So I think that's a good, especially if I'm alone, I just enjoy relaxing in the jacuzzi bath there, maybe lying right there, floating in the water, and then just feeling the waters there massage me. So that's something I enjoy. So
I do actually love a bit of meditation now and again. So that's probably the best way to do it, a bit of mindfulness. Creative, probably when I'm at home in my kitchen. I love cooking. That's my happy place.
It's time to welcome our first guest. R.T. Lal has been a teacher of meditation for 35 years and is the coordinator of Inner Space, a self-development and meditation center in Covent Garden. R.T. facilitates workshops and seminars for companies, corporations, and communities throughout London. She motivates and inspires individuals to create a little space, quiet, and thought in their busy schedules. She's a warm, humorous person who brings energy, enthusiasm, and creativity to everything she does. Please welcome to the stage, R.T. Lal. Big round of applause. Keep that going. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again for being here. I've had a really good week studying up on you and meditation. I went to a free guided meditation at the Inner Space Center earlier in the week, which was fantastic. We'll talk about that in a bit. So when I think about meditation, the first thing that I think of is actually a book called The Power of Now. by Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if you guys know that book, but it was my kind of introduction to mindfulness and just to the concept of watching my thoughts, being present in the moment as much as I can. And it was a really big moment for me when I learned after I read that book that I am not, the thoughts in my mind aren't who I am. So I wanted to start by asking you a pretty open-ended question, but to you, what is meditation?
We use the word yoga in India rather than meditation. That's very much a Western term. But it's a way of life. It's a way of life that creates space and allows you to be the individual you are at your best.
And what are the benefits of meditation?
Well, what do you want the benefits to be? Some people want to meditate because they would like to sleep better. Some people want to meditate because they need to relax. Some people want enlightenment. So it is what you want it to be.
And I read something, I can't remember if it was a quote from you or from the Inner Space website, but that the quote is, meditation is not only a journey of self-discovery, but it's described as a journey of rediscovery. Can you tell us a bit what does that mean? What are we rediscovering?
Yourself. Very simply. We, as individuals, as we grow, we have layers that are added and added and added. And the whole idea is to go back to your core being, which is positive, which is powerful, which is also unique. And what you're rediscovering is who you are on that basis, not who you are according to the jobs that you do or the relationships you have or the skills you may or may not have developed, but knowing your truth and being able to live that.
How long ago did you start this journey?
18. I was 18 and I was super stressed. I'd got a scholarship for a university, but I had to deliver. You know how that is? And so I was super stressed. And I think at that point I'd spent quite a bit of my parents' money. And then there was this meditation course that was free. And my father turned around and said, "What have you got to lose? Give it a go." And I just never looked back.
And what have been the major benefits once you started the course in your life?
What it did was open my world completely. And if you can imagine, I was studying nuclear engineering and I'm a meditation teacher. Kind of slightly different worlds. And what it did was completely open up the horizon for me. And I'd only just kind of stopped. I was taking a gap year and I was at the UN with the meditation organization. And doors kept opening, areas that I never thought I would explore, things that I never thought I would do, just kept popping up. And it's very much like that even today.
So one of the things that I think hopefully a lot of people struggle with, I don't hope that people struggle with it, but so that I'm not alone essentially, is that I was thinking about this week in preparation for this is I often feel like I can't stop my mind. And I also feel like the stimuli, I live in central London, I've got a smartphone like everybody else, and whether it be walking down the street or swiping through the phone is, addicting to the point of I don't know that I'm just taking it in and I can't stop. So it's the thoughts, it's the stimuli, this constant need to kind of mindlessly check my phone or look around or take things in. So I guess the question I would have is, how does one start if you feel totally wrapped up in this modern world in this way? The idea of stilling the mind or watching your thoughts, when that feels completely sort of foreign to you, how would you suggest maybe someone starting?
There's a project we did quite a few years ago now, and it was called Just a Minute. And the idea was to take the first minute of your every hour to allow yourself to just become present, become calm. 60 seconds. And if you did that, you would see the impact on the next 59 minutes. Isn't that incredible? But that is what it is. And so I recommend you start meditating in the morning, but that's not enough. It's important to feed your mind something that's going to keep it constructive, positive, empowered, light. Yeah? And then you take your minute every hour. And if all you do in that 60 seconds is to pause and just focus on your breath, great. But you can actually take 60 seconds and create a frame of mind that is positive, or allow your mind to be in a space that's not being influenced, just for 60 seconds. And if you can just work at that, what you've created is a momentum. Now, we are human beings, but most of us are human doings, which is what you've been talking about. We're just doing. Now, how much of a sentence would you understand if I didn't pause to breathe? You wouldn't. And what we're doing when we don't meditate is almost like not giving your mind space to reflect. You're not allowing your mind to breathe. You're not allowing your mind to come up with a unique solution or a unique perspective. You're not allowing yourself to come into action. You're just absorbing everything. So the meditation is actually inviting you to say, stop. There is a unique being here who has a unique talent and unique perception, who has something to offer. And there must be 100 arties in central London, if not more, but you won't get another one like me. And you might say that's a good thing, but but the reality is there isn't another one of you. And what you have to offer is so valuable and important to yourself, to your community, to your family, to the world. And what meditation is saying is that is you. Most of us just see ourselves as ordinary and we dismiss ourselves. Meditation is inviting you to value that.
You're going to lead us on a bit of a guided meditation. Before you do that, can you just tell us a little bit about the Inner Space Center and what is offered there? I'll mention that I wanted to test it out. So I went to a free 20-minute meditation, guided meditation at the center. It's not far from here in Covent Garden. And it was beautiful. And tell us a little bit about it. And then I have one quick question.
Okay. So at Inner Space, we offer free courses, seminars, talks, both in person and online. All you need to do is register. And if you happen to be in the area and you turn up physically, we'll make sure there's space for you as much as possible. So we'll teach meditation, we'll teach time management, we'll teach self-esteem, we'll teach communicate with impact. Now, all of that comes from the meditation philosophy that we study each day. And all the people who are running the sessions are long-term meditators. They're people who've been exploring and wanting to give back to the community, and that's why we can offer it for free. There's also the philosophy of the organization is I can't charge you for what you have. Your peace of mind is yours. It exists. What we're doing is helping just remind you that it exists and helping you get back there. So the organization works on donations, and that's pretty much how it works. None of the staff are paid. They're literally turning up because they want to give back into the community. So that's why they're all free. So do look up the website and have a look, innerspace.org.uk.
Before you take us on a guided meditation, I had a question. You know, I went to it was a Wednesday lunchtime, 20 minutes in Covent Garden, and it was great. And I genuinely got a lot out of it. And then I emerged into central London and I picked up my phone right away. I was so excited to put it away and turn it off. And then someone was walking down the street and they annoyed me, which happens every 30 seconds basically around here. So I just wanted to ask before you start with us, do you have any advice for
how would you recommend emerging out of a meditation when all of a sudden all of those distractions are back?
I normally tell my students that before you shoot off back into your everyday activity, take 5 minutes and just, if you can, just jot down what you were feeling or thinking that was creating a positive buzz within you. The reason I ask you to do that is that it then is because you've physically done something. It's left a different impression. You know, the philosophy of karma is interesting. It's not just physical action, but it's also the thoughts you have and the feelings you create and the words you speak. And before you do any of that, just to take a moment and embed yourself in what you've been feeling. Our mind is interesting because it goes from here to here to here to here. I know before I started meditating, I was really proud that I could think of almost 5 things simultaneously. I'd be going like this. No wonder I was stressed, you know? And what the meditation is doing is just allowing it all to become present, become still, not dead, not empty, but full and vibrant. Once you start thinking about what you've felt, you're more likely to think about it as you walk down the street rather than the habit of pulling out my phone, because that's just a habit, that's all.
Let's see if we can do it. Night out in Soho, who would have thought? I'm actually going to attempt to not look at my notes and think about what's coming next. So let's see if I achieve that.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to make sure your feet are flat. Your hands are flat. Make sure you're sitting comfortable but alert. You have an appointment with the most important person in your life, which is you. So give yourself that attention. Take a deep breath. Allow your eyes to either gently shut or just unfocus. And bring your attention just to your breath. Breathe in deeply. And as you breathe out any of the emotions you've carried through the day. Breathe in deeply again. Once again, just breathe out any feelings that exist in your body. Allow the breath to continue. And allow your attention just to rest on your feet and your legs. Very gently draw that energy up through your feet, through your legs, to the base of your backbone. And allow your feet and legs to rest. Draw the energy up through your backbone. And as it does, draw it out through all of the organs. The digestive system, your stomach, your diaphragm, up through your chest to the edge of your shoulder blades. Allow your torso to rest. Feel the energy in your hands and your arms. Very gently draw it up to the edge of your shoulder blades. Allow your arms to rest. Draw the energy in through the shoulder blades, up your neck, up through your head, away from the muscles in your face, your scalp, and bring it to a point through the muscles in your brain to the center of your forehead, allowing the shoulders, the neck, the head to rest. Turn inward and just observe your thoughts. Almost like carriages on a train, one following the other. But allow your attention to be on the space between each carriage. And as you do that, the thoughts begin to fade, and you find that the mind is open, calm, and still. Allow that restful, peaceful self just to fill the mind. And then let it flow out of the mind into the body, touching every nerve, every cell on its way down. Through the neck, the face, the shoulders, your arms, down your backbone, down through the legs, into the ground. Take one last deep breath in, and as you breathe out, allow that calmness to flow out. And when you're ready, refocus your eyes. Just roll your shoulders, your neck, come back into the room.
Thank you. Just as we're all coming back into the room, I wanted to ask one more thing. So we have something here at the Big Smoke that we call parish notices, which is simply our term for how are you finding community and connection in the coming week. This is all about connecting with different people. So I'd love to ask you if you have any parish notices for us. But I'll give you some examples. It could be going to a play. It could be going to an event like this. Could be going to a friend's birthday. Could also be going for a walk with a friend, leaving your phone at home in order to make more eye contact with strangers, anything like that. anything that will help create more connection and community. So do you have any parish notices for yourself for the coming week?
This week, I am going to be picking up the phone to celebrate other people's milestones. So I have a friend who's starting a new job in a whole new area. So to celebrate that with her and hear her story and her journey. I have another friend who's literally been given 25 days to move out of her home and find a new home. And she's achieved that. So to celebrate that with her. And I have a friend who's just finished her cancer treatment. And so again, taking time to hear her story and her celebration. So I guess that's my parish.
Thank you very much. Can we give a nice big round of applause for RT Wow? In each show, we like to hear how you are fostering connection and community. We call this a parish notice.
Hi, my name's Wendy, and my parish notice is that I'm going to a 5 Rhythms dance workshop.
I'm Adrian Day, and I'll be doing a community walk on Sunday.
Hi, my name is Chris Hodgson, also known as Padman. For community, I am doing what I do every week and going to the local youth club, and I'm helping young people record, get their ideas out onto paper, encourage them to shape who they are inside through musical compositions with production. I'm encouraging them to say on a microphone what they may not say to their peers. Encourage them not to be afraid of who they are, and not to write the story that someone else has already written for them, but the one they want to write for themselves.
My name's Jen, and this is Sean.
Hello.
And we live near Richmond Park, and at the moment people are getting very excited about all the deer in Richmond Park because rutting season is about to begin, and people are getting too close to the deer. So this weekend when we go to Richmond Park, we're going to tell people to stay away from the deer.
Because it's very, very dangerous.
Kate Sharp is a comedian and writer based in London. She's a triple threat. Lesbian, incredibly beautiful, and owns a steamer. She's also a 2-time comedy competition finalist. Her clever writing and conversational style make her an exciting comic on the UK comedy scene. Let's please give another big warm round of applause for Kate.
Thank you. I really wish I was wearing something that I'd steamed today so you could see how good I was at steaming. That was so beautiful. I feel so calm. I apologize, and I'm now going to change the mood to slightly manic. So apologies for that. I did actually just have 2 espresso martinis, and I keep checking my pulse. So that's the energy you're getting right now. And whoopsie, also didn't take my ADHD meds this morning. So let's do this. No, I am Kate Sharp. Very lovely to meet you all. Very recently changed my pronouns, which is cool. Okay. Literally. No, that was the same reaction Debbie from HR gave me when I told her. Yeah, I changed teams, and I had to go into her office to fill a whole bunch of paperwork out with her because I was changing teams, and we got to the favourite question on that questionnaire, which is male or female. And obviously Debbie, she got a bit panicked, I think, when she looked at me. She kind of looked at those 2 boxes, looked back at me. I think maybe a hint, maybe to help her out. And then Debbie just drew a 3rd box. Yeah. Debbie drew a 3rd box, ticked it, and wrote gay. So, yeah, Debbie, first HR person to understand people, which is so lovely. My pronouns are they, she. I don't mind which one you guys use, because they also identify as incredibly non-confrontational. I do not mind. If anything, my pronouns should be my fault, whichever, or maybe people pleaser, I don't mind. My girlfriend's really cool about it. She's been sort of mixing it up in the bedroom. The other day we were having sex, flex, and she kind of stopped and whispered in my ear and was like, Kate, I don't know why I'm looking so intensely at you, Adrian. I just realised I know everyone's names. This is thrilling. We have 2 Wendy's. Okay, I'm getting so distracted. I told you I didn't take my meds. No, she kind of stopped and sort of whispered in my ear, Kate, you're a bad, bad girl. And then she paused and said, no, you're a bad, bad person. So, yeah, really good girlfriend. She's great. Bit of an age difference, though. So I'm 33, she's 24. But we're trying to teach each other lots of things. Like, I'm teaching her all about lower back pain in your 30s, you know, and how that feels. She's teaching me how to take ketamine on a Tuesday evening. So, yeah, we're living, we're laughing, we're lesbians. It's really great. I have found, though, recently when we are having sex, I'm trying to, when we do role play, I'm trying to incorporate her touching my back. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be the barista, and I've had an injury. You should really help my back. Okay, that was a new bit, but I'm being vulnerable today. Take that off the podcast. I want to look really good. What else about me? I also identify as a Carabiner lesbian. The vibe of the group is maybe you don't know what that is, so I'll explain it to you. Basically, a Carabiner, I keep my keys on this little metal clip. If you're straight, you may have seen them in Go Ape on the high ropes. Basically, lesbians like to keep our keys here because, the most easiest way to explain it is the Carabiner to the lesbian is much like the Pandora charm bracelet to straight women. You know Pandora charm bracelets? They're collecting charms from their hobbies, their holidays. I'm collecting my ex-girlfriend's house keys. It's very super similar, very similar. I'm very doubtful there's going to be any in, but do we have any Carabiner wearers in? No, this is actually our mating call. Okay? If you ever do that in IKEA, stampede. Lesbians just running at you. Lesbians are actually very noisy people. It's probably very similar to cats, actually. I once dated a woman. She goes, I never know who's coming down the stairs, you or the cat. It's very similar. It's why lesbians love cats so much. I do think, what would straight men hang from their sort of genes if they wanted the world to know they were straight? Any ideas? Rachel? Adrian? Wendy? Daisy? God, this is thrilling. This is taking audience participation to a slightly threatening level because no one's safe. I think it'd be, the Huel plastic shaking containers? Just always ready for a liquid, delicious meal. I'd love to do a welfare check on men, like, plot twist, guys. You can eat solid food. It's so crazy. Also, you don't have to make podcasts. No, I'm joking. You're gay. You're fine. We allow that. But I do love straight people. Give me a cheer if you're straight, just so I can get the vibe of the room. Okay, straights, you need to be more enthusiastic, okay? Because I love your culture. Straight culture is actually my favourite culture out of all the cultures in the world. It's so magical, it's so interesting to watch, wouldn't want to be a pony right about now, lads on tour. It's interesting, it's very interesting. For example, a whole bunch of my guy mates, they went on a big stag weekend to Poland. Has anyone here ever been to a stag weekend?
Yep.
How was it?
Very good.
Very good. What would you rate out of 10?
8.
Where did you go?
I've been on several.
Okay, this actually is no part of my set. I'm just very intrigued. Several. Which was your favourite?
Probably mine.
I feel like that's the theme of most stag weekends and hens. Nobody wants to go on them but the person who it's about. It's the best time of their life. Well, basically, a whole bunch of my guy mates, they went to Poland for this stag weekend with all their guy mates. And as they were sort of taking off on the flight, they posted a picture of them on the flight and they sort of captioned it, "Watch out, Poland." The boys are coming to Poland. Poland won't know what hit it when we land. Now, I'm no history buff. I'm not, but I did some Googling. Poland's had a crazy few thousand years. There's been wars and famines, etc., etc. But 5 men in bucket hats, they could bring down Poland with that confidence. And that's why straight culture is so interesting, the confidence you guys have. But I don't want to forget straight women, because I love you guys as well, my girlies. I do, yeah, because I feel like, I mean, a lot of WhatsApp chats with straight women. I know how hard you guys have it, which is why I do see myself a bit like Princess Diana to straight women. You know, I'm metaphorically clearing the landmines. The landmines being straight men. I'm like, hey, don't sleep with him. He has no pillowcases on his bed. Or like, you know, or like, don't sleep with him. He uses 2-in-1 body wash shampoo. I'm trying to support. That's my parish news. I'm trying to support as much as I can. But I have decided, like, why don't we throw a parade for the girlies? The gays have a parade. It's wonderful. So this is my idea. So I will be collecting money after the show for this parade idea. But we say to all the girlies, hey, meet us at the really big Zara on Oxford Street. Guys, it's their culture. And then we march and parade to, like, the closest Oliver Bonus. And we say to all the girls, you get whatever you want. You know, you get the print with a pineapple that says, life's crazy. And then we ended in all bar one. I think the parade has legs. Any feedback's always welcomed. I'll end you on this one. This one feels like a very lovely zen one to end you on. This year I was like, hey, I want to go to a sex party. This is really good. My mum's in the crowd, so just... So really... Oh, that's Wendy. Don't woo-hoo to that. Again, scrape from the podcast. Well, the reason I think I'd be really good at a sex party is because I was really good at group work at university. Didn't do a lot, but I bought snacks. So I think maybe it has legs. Has anyone here ever been to a sex party? Wendy, stay deadly silent. No one, I mean, guys, this is Soho.
I was somewhere that started turning into one. And the person who invited me, I text them Uber before the orgy starts.
How did you know it was about to begin?
Because people who were just chilling like this just started kissing each other randomly.
Oh my God, imagine in 10 minutes, everyone just like... Plot twist! That's actually the next parlour game. Everyone take off one piece of clothing and smooch someone you've never met before. Also, why do I keep saying smooch? I think I'm trying to like make it a thing. Again, delete that. But you know, I've never been to a sex party. I'll end on this one. I've never been to one, but the closest I've ever gone to a sex party was when I went to a Hens Weekend in the Cotswolds, and it was a Have you ever been to the Cotswolds?
I've been there, but not a hen party.
Good for you, Wendy. That came off very aggressive. I think I just like that I know everyone's names. But yeah, there was this beautiful Airbnb, stunning, big house, me and 10 women, and there for some reason there was a trampoline at this Airbnb. Don't know why. But I don't know if anyone here has ever jumped on a trampoline with 10 women who've consumed a large amount of rosé and also given birth in the last 12 months. I did go to my first piss party. That's the closest I've ever gotten. I'm going to leave you on piss party because that feels really lovely. Thank you so much, everyone.
Kate Sharp, everybody. Do you have any parish notices? You've already shared a few, but any ways that you're fostering community and connection in the coming week?
I swim a lot, so I try and swim every single day. I think it helps my brain calm down a lot. So recently I am at this pool and there's a whole bunch of older guys who I don't think know how to swim. So I've taken it upon myself to teach them. I don't actually think they asked, but they're always in my lane. And I just was like, you know what? Let's just have the chats and teach. And, you know, I think it is nice. I mean, they haven't said they're against it. This actually feels quite selfish about myself, and
I love it.
Scrape that. I'm not doing that. No, I do swim a lot, and I do a lot of swimming with queer people, which is lovely because I feel like sometimes in pools, if you don't look a certain way or you just don't know how to swim or whatever, it can be quite a daunting place. So I've been taking a lot of queer people to the pool and just making them feel welcomed, especially with different body types and that sort of thing. So just sort of going in as a community is nice.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. One more time for Kate, everybody. It's time for our next segment. So give us a big cheer for hat tricks. Okay, this is a little bit of a getting to know you of our audience. So I'm going to ask 3 people to please come to the stage. We've got Kate is returning to the stage. We've got Daisy is coming up to the stage. And we've got Wendy who's coming up to the stage. Just stand up. Yeah, I'm going to get you. We'll probably go last, so you'll go behind them. Hat tricks. 3 questions, 2 truths, and 1 lie. Now, each contestant is going to represent a different hat or a different life story. What hat do you wear? But here's the thing. This is a competition. They have the opportunity to win a prize. What they are doing is they are playing to exchange their hats with some nice, slick, fancy ones from our sponsor of this segment, Hatopia. Hatopia is a wonderful organization. I'll tell you about them at the end, but we've got some, I would say, toques, but that is beanie, I think, over here. Step 1, let's have Daisy, why don't you go first? If you could step up to the mic. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. First of all, tell us your name and 3 words you would use to describe yourself.
Hello, I'm Daisy. The 3 words that I've chosen to describe myself are sweaty, funny, and loud.
Beautiful. Now, for our podcast listeners, we're just giving them a bit of an idea of who you are. So hopefully that gives them a sense of you. So your question, your little micro interview, Daisy. Mm-hmm. If you were a hat, what type would you be and why?
I think I would be like a wide-brimmed sun hat. You know, like one of the like long Hessian hats that you only wear on holiday. Did you? Oh, you did want a why? Because sorry. I think because on holiday it makes loads of sense. I make loads of sense and I feel really cool. But when you're in the UK, it just feels a bit silly.
Give Daisy a round of applause for that. Now, it's time to see if she's going to perform a hat trick. Okay, so. Daisy, can you please tell us 2 truths and 1 lie?
So, my 2 truths and 1 lie. I travelled the world as a child. I am the namesake of several fictional characters. I have an obscure aristocratic title.
Okay, so I'm going to, with the help of the audience, give us your first one again. We're trying to figure out which is the lie.
I travelled the world as a child.
Traveled the world as a child. Raise your hand if you think that's a lie. Anybody think that one's... Okay, there's a few people who think that's a lie. Second one.
I am the namesake of several fictional characters.
She's the namesake of several fictional characters. Okay. Does anyone raise your hand if you think that's the lie? It feels like there's more for the first one. Travel the world. Give us a third one.
I have an obscure aristocratic title.
Okay. Raise your hand if you think that's the lie. I mean, I'll tell the listener that I think the majority of the audience went for Travel the World, but I'm going to guess that the lie is that you have an obscure... just looking at you with that you have an obscure aristocratic title. Is that the lie?
That is the lie.
Oh! You didn't perform a hat trick, but you know what? Give her a round of applause. And just for participating, well, we might give you one of those hats anyways. Wendy, come on up to the mic, please. Okay, so step 1, please tell us your name and 3 words you would use to describe yourself.
My name is Wendy Bollard, and I am curious and cheeky, and I have a lot of intuition.
Curious, cheeky, and intuition. Nice. What is a story that has changed your perspective on something?
I have a friend who really believes in the law of attraction, and I thought that was complete BS. And then I was at her house one day, and she has a vision board, and pretty much to a T, every single thing she had put on that vision board came true, right down to the amount of money she wanted to make a week. And it was a lot of money.
Oh.
So that changed my mind.
Nice. Okay, Wendy, tell us 2 truths and 1 lie.
I have 92 first relatives, including my grandparents. I once got into a fight with the lead singer of Duran Duran backstage.
Once got into a fight with the lead singer of Duran Duran backstage. Okay.
And in January of 2016, I studied theater in Moscow, in the city, in the winter.
Okay. So raise your hand if you think that the lie is that she has 92 first relatives. Raise your hand. A lot. Okay. For the listener, most of the people in the room think that. Let's see if there's any who thought number 2 was. Ooh, remind me number 2. Which one was the second one?
I got into a fight with the lead singer.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I
Duran.
forget? Got into the fight with the lead singer of Duran Duran backstage. Who thinks that's the lie? A lot of people believe that. Okay, that's a story there. And number 3 is in 2016, you studied theater in Moscow. Raise your hand if you think that's the lie. So I'm going to go with the group, which is that, is it a lie that you have 92 first relatives?
It is the truth.
Oh, give her a round of applause. Tell us, Wendy, which one was the lie?
That I studied theater in Moscow.
Ah, we're going to have to hear about that Duran Duran fight, but give Wendy a round of applause. Kate, you're up. Very good. You're gonna get a hat at the end of this. Kate, come on up. Last but not least, so you'll recognize Kate from the wonderful stand-up earlier. Tell us, even though we know your name, but tell us one more time your name and 3 words to describe yourself to the listener.
Kate Sharp. 3 words are hungry, delusional, and obsessive.
Okay. I think that gets a nice clear picture for our listener. Your question was, yes, Kate, if you were to write a self-help book, what would it be called and why?
I think it would be called like My Bed and I, or like Me, Myself, and My Bed. Just because my bed is my favorite place in the world. I think you should do everything in bed, like eat, for example. I'm very pro eating in bed, and I think people should get on board with that. It is shaped like a dining room table, and you already have a tablecloth, basically. I guess my biggest idols are the grandparents in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They don't leave the bed. So yeah, I'm just like, self-help is get into bed.
This is great. We've got the next set. Okay, Kate, tell us 2 truths and 1 lie.
So I'm very, very lucky to have 3 passports, which is really, really cool. I'm also very, very lucky that I have never had sex with a man, which is also very cool. And then lastly, a few years ago at my apartment building, I got trapped in a lift for 2 hours and I really had to pee. So I went to go pee, and as I was squatting, the doors opened. So they're my 3.
Okay. So let's all vote. The first one was
passports.
3 passports. Raise your hand if you think that's the lie. She has 3 passports. Okay, there's a couple people in the room. Second one was never had sex with a man. Raise your hand if you think that is the lie. Oh, most people think that is the lie.
Okay, so you think I'm a slag.
Okay. And the last one, I mean, I hope this is the truth, but that you were trapped in not that you were trapped in an elevator, but the story of it is hilarious. 2 hours in an elevator, as you went down to go pee, the doors open. Raise your hand if you think that's a lie. The most people thought that was a lie, so I'll go with the audience, which is it a lie that you were trapped in an elevator for 2 hours and just as you went down to squat to go pee, the doors opened?
Wrong, that's the truth.
Oh, give Kate a round of applause. It's a hot trick. Beautiful. So tell us, Kate, which one is the lie?
That I've never had sex with a man.
Oh,
there's been many.
Good. Round of applause for our 3 contestants. Now,
while they make their way down there, we're going to give you your caps at the end of the night. But I just want to tell you before we move on to our next act. So Hatopia is so generously sponsored this night. They didn't provide the things that you've seen them wear on the stage, but they did provide these lovely hats, caps over on the side here that you'll see with those boxes. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. First of all, Anil Kasemi, if you're interested in listening to the podcast, it's the second episode, I believe. It's called Change in Muddy Waters. He was our guest, and he's a survivor of war. He's a refugee from Afghanistan. He's an entrepreneur. He does a lot of work with refugees, and just an all-around amazing guy. And he started this company called Hatopia. So just so you know a little bit about it, since launching Hatopia in 2023, they have sold over 1,000 hats to 27 countries and maintained 100% positive feedback on eBay. Every day, Hatopia expands with new products. Driven by the desire to create opportunities and bring about positive change, leaving Afghanistan has only fueled Anil's determination to continue as an entrepreneur. I also think it's important to say that he is a recent eBay for Business Award winner. And it's really important for him with this company and all the work he does that he provides opportunities for workers and skilled people both here in the UK and in Afghanistan. If you're interested in hearing more about Hatopia, you can go to hatopia.co.uk. That's Hatopia, hatopia.co.uk, or you can find them on Instagram, Hatopia_UK. So let's give a big round of applause for Hatopia for sponsoring this segment and very generously giving us these hats that you guys are going to enjoy, even if you didn't succeed. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our next guest. Lean is a master of ceremonies whose improvisational skills can only be described as a surge of electricity, an awakening to the system. The MC's brain can be likened to a computer with a Pentium processor, which has led him to tour extensively with an artist at the pinnacle of improvised music, the beatboxing champion and live looping pioneer, Beardy Man. A touring MC, studio artist, streamer, music producer, and socially conscious soul, Lean is an unapologetic realist with a goal to educate his audience, who can freestyle hard-hitting studio-quality verses at the drop of a hat. So please welcome to the stage, Lean.
Everything you're about to hear is improvised, made up right here, right now. I really should have gone to the toilet before I did this. So it's going to be fueled by a special form of I really need to go to the toilet anxiety. And it's going to be called I'm a Man of Many Hats, just because of the theme of what went down, I guess. Pick any beat you wish, but let me start this one a cappella. I'm a man of many hats. Doesn't really matter where you find me at. I got a vibration that I put in circulation, being all across the planet, seen so many nations. I cannot fail. I try to keep it honest, but I'm really bothered by what's happening in Israel. Geez, man, I see the sign of beasts. How can we deny what's happening in the Middle East? Let me slow it all down. How the hell can we celebrate to the sound? I try not to get involved online, but I might as well take this time for one rhyme, man, I'm anxious. How can we all stand it? How can we all act like we never saw the bombs landed? Jeez, bro, I only see this shit online. So I might get cancelled if I say it one time. Where's the love? Why don't we go and spread it? We've seen so many trends, bro, but why don't people get it? If it was your brother or your sister, if she disappeared, would anybody miss her? Or anybody even miss him? Everybody's standing out, but they try to fit in. Too many clones try to grab the microphones, man. A small guy framed simply skin and bones, but I'm so much stronger. The vibe goes longer. I really wonder what about this spell we're under. They use the industry. That's why you cannot tell us apart. This isn't product. This is barely some art. It's just a little time where I can simply speak from the heart. Simply, I gotta give thanks to you, Kevin Bennett. Jeez, it's nice to have a flow, not need to pen it. It's not political, no government, no senate. It's just a simple vibe from me to you, I send it. A vibration. Can you feel it? Sunshine, Daisy, that's some real shit. My girl Kate, yo, I can relate, man. There's so much food for thought that we can serve up in the plate. Yo, I got a couple flows that are so profound. I gotta stand for something. That's why we're here on the sacred ground. Shit, man, look at the art. Hope you feel the beat, but it's straight from the heart. It's the cardiac. Know so many brothers find it hard to rap. Right up in the stages where the heart is at. Not up on the streams or the YouTube. That is not the places that you can go find the artists at. It's like I'm about to have an art attack. I let it cross the page, bro. It's simply splat. Say it's not fair. They look at my people with so much fear, like we were standing out there shaking spears, but the skinny black guy has no quill, but still got a similar skill to Shakespeare. Hope you really feel the vibe that I choose to go with. Skinny black dudes articulating poets. They say we're dead from the top of the head. Man, we got so many. I'm bald, my brother is dread. You know the culture when you see it, the real dudes. And if you understand my passion, bro, I feel you. Whether you dance or whether you use the pen strokes. Artists I know are real broke, but we keep pushing. They go hard. We got trapped in the passion of the bars, so you see me in venues, and I take my time. You can break it down, never wrote it line for line, many paragraphs. You know he meant it. Locked between the bars right now like a sentence, and I will do it for my whole life with no repentance. Realist vibes have made an entrance. Anyway, it's like a pen, or the pin out of a grenade. When you let me loose on the stage to serenade, it's simply a way to let loose, bro. It's pure love that you show me is the truth. Anyway, it's my comfy hat. It's just for me to settle in wherever I'm at. I think I can calm down now with my man Kevin and chat, but we haven't even turned the beats on for the raps. Anyway, I better stop, because it's infinite once I get into it. Hope you can understand that my art is so intricate. It's like literature. I got the top grades, and I had never even studied, so too many days I went in, no denial. Pass me the paper, let me do a freestyle. It's like, yeah, bro, that guy's out there getting grades. I will chill out with a pen and simply write a couple essays. Top student, they know the movement. Relax, Alex, man, you can play the music. I like the way you run things when you stay grooving. Make some noise if you feel the vibes up in here. Enough props to my man Alex, the engineer and producer. It's a real live podcast. We're putting out a vibe that must last. I represent for a lifestyle that we use and sacrifice to do the freestyles. I hope the people out there getting me. My real name is Jesse Lee. This moment here's my therapy. Yeah, the vibe's in circulation. Copying Artie from the meditations. I was in the flow state, had to hold it down. It's like getting blessings on the sacred grounds. It's like a hallelujah type of latte. It's like we be praising here all day. Whoa, he gives a sermon like a Sunday, but I get lean taking off like it's a runway. Let me slow it down, the vibe I thank it. It's just a controlled burst of anxious thoughts. We let loose. It's not even a rap, bro, I'm telling the truth. It's simply a chance to simply say hi. They know me as the skinny black guy that'll simply talk from me to you. Jen, I can see you're bubbling the crew. Thanks for jamming with us. I need some water, bro, I'm making a fuss. Need the hydration, because the flow is slowing. It's like I've got a vibe I emit when glowing. Keep it colder than the ground when it's snowing. That's my guy Chris, make noise if you know him. Bringing me the water, I've got the flow. Let me stop for a couple seconds for the H2O, yeah. I got the vibe that's blasted. You don't look too impressed, guy in the glasses. Whoa, I got the double thumbs up. Thanks. Because I was working hard. You looking at me like, man, I got some bars. I was like, damn, he must be an MC too. Looking at me like he's about to roll through. I was like, okay, bring the cattle, might switch up modes and prepare to battle, but you're cool though. The features. I'm rolling on the sacred grounds with the apostles like Peter. Still spilling water underground like Jesus. Anyway, man, Lena's got rhymes. He had the water here. I should have just touched it when I was flowing and turned that to red wine. Bless Peter. Kimachi. Righty. Thank you. That was very socially irresponsible. Oh, damn.
Lean, everybody. Amazing.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
I still got more. Sorry, I was just loosening up. That was my
go
comfy hat. Let me put on my thinking hat.
Let's do it.
Alex. Cool. How you doing, my man?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah? Thank you for inviting me through.
My pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me through. I hope you're having a good evening. I'm Lee, it's nice for the meeting. I do not have the name tag on right now, but I'm known for kicking flows that are really highbrow. Okay. Once again, the vibe in circulation. These are your raps. Let's start a whole conversation. What you want to hear a couple rhymes about? Let me see if I got flows and we can find them out. Anyway, it's just a moment that we came to share, and it's all off the top of the dome. Make a bit of noise if you choose to cheer. I'm biters of my style, you would better beware. It takes a real long time, day and night's getting active. Me, I stay disciplined, I gotta get the practice. I'm not looking at the lights all up on the stage sometimes. I say that's really not attractive. I get out here and start a movement. I mentor artists, I keep it reclusive. I'm just chilling as I focus my skill on a house on the hill. All up in High Wycombe, I'm spitting. I've always got a positive vibe that I'm emitting. I'm looking for the whack MCs for me to slaughter. Be busy being a husband and a real good father to my daughters. They're still too young to come to the party. Shouts to Amaris, big up to Atari. That young girl right there can outsmart me. I'm making a brand new generation who got vibes. I'm looking at my daughters and they really must thrive in a world that's trying to work all against them. Norville name is the emblem. I told them when I'm speaking straight from the conscience, I try to keep it real out there. There's no nonsense. So tell them put the pens down, because I treat any beat out there like it's my playground. Whoa, from the London town, I see my country backs me. I was born in Castries, it's that neat. I'm coming from the West Indies, complex thoughts from the brain. I put it simply without even using no pens and no paper. Simply steal a show, Batman's got a caper. You better record this shit, because this is a vibe for right now and not later. It's alright, Alex, we can pick a next beat, give them a treat. As we're chilling out here on Dean Street, the old church is the place that we be praising. The skinny black guys got a flow that's amazing. Season it up, got the salt and the pepper, also got paprika, you can call it Cajun. Better come along, who's as hard as you? Skinny black guy grilling like a barbecue. Always got the charcoal and the lumber wood. Better come to my house, cause my cooking's good. I got the flows and you know I make it. Got the beef out there, it's marinating. Always got something for the vegans too, because I'm feeding people that be rolling through. I be the host with the most. Show up, blow up a whole podcast, a venue, and then I'm ghost. Yeah man, you know the flow is hella raw. I'm not He-Man, more looking like I'm Skeletor, but I'm still a superhero, don't you startle. Got more powers than the characters in Marvel. Never ever write it down, I just flow. Any other time I show up and glow and emitting. I just wanna give you beats from my heart. I hope that they be hitting, cause spreading love through hip-hop is my mission. And speaking the truth is my condition. I really can't help it. If there's other MCs here, I will share the mic. I'm not selfish. I just chill for a little while. Thank you, Kevin, for having me through to freestyle. We can give you more. In fact, I will rock it. I was really hoping that a couple of you had some topics, but I think my time's up. Don't interrupt. I mean, we got a couple points that I choose to discuss. I didn't even know I felt that strongly about the Israel thing. That's just the vibe of this thing. I never had no conversations with my friends on the phone. I just stayed out the zone. I really wasn't impressed, but I didn't know how to express it. And in this moment, I just get it, I guess. Bro, I'm kicking a verse. I think it's the vibe from standing on the ground of the old church. I can feel it right through my ankles. The system, let's break it down and dismantle. Get off the timeline, cause if you try to look for this online, it might mean your brain is scrambled. Yeah, hope you feel the vibration. That shit really messed up my concentration. I used to be able to read so many books. I used to be able to remember so many numbers. Now I'm finding it hard to catch deep slumber. I be scrolling and you wonder, it's the blue light, makes you lose your true sight. It's the message that I'm spreading right now, a truth.
Lean, everybody. Take a seat for a second. Thank you. Give it up for Lean, everybody. Whew, amazing. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. Do you have any parish notices for us? Any ways that you are fostering community and connection in the coming week?
Yeah. I challenge all of you in this room, you too, Maggie, to try a new way to express yourself in the moment in the next week. And I hope you find something beautiful.
One more time for Lean, everybody. Did you solve the crossword puzzle clue? A spiral-horned antelope of Central Africa whose coat is bright red-brown with narrow cream stripes in 5 letters. What do you think?
We think it's a bongo.
That's right. Bingo, bango, bongo. B-O-N-G-O, bongo. It's that time again. Victorian parlor games. All games, from the Roman gladiatorial battles to a quiet round of cards or charades, are imitations of real-life situations. The activity of playing games is the expression of an instinct, for play is far older than culture, older even than prehistory. So here's our offering to you, a way to connect with your friends and family and have a bit of fun. Today's game is the Minister's Cat. Any number can play this game, and the more the merrier. The first player describes the Minister's Cat with any adjective beginning with the letter A. For instance, the Minister's Cat is an angry cat. The next player must also use an A. The Minister's Cat is an amiable cat. This continues for one round, at which point the letter B is taken, and so on throughout the alphabet. Players drop out if they are unable to find an adjective or if they repeat one already used. So have some fun this week with the Minister's Cat. That's all for today's episode. Man, we learned a lot today. It's not very often you get guided meditation, stand-up comedy, freestyle rap, even the mention of a bongo in one episode. Well, thanks for listening, and see you next time. Well, so long until we meet again. I'm so glad that you were here, my friends. And the time may be fast, but good friendships will last. So long until we meet again. Good night, everybody.